Okay, today I'm going to try and make some syrup from scratch. And this recipe I found online on YouTube and reading some web pages about how to make syrup. So I ran out of syrup and I needed something, so I just had to kind of make, something with what I had here in the house. So I found the basic recipe, which you can find anywhere on the internet, which just basically includes sugar and water, equal parts. And you just kind of heat it up over a stovetop until it becomes syrupy, right? And you're good to go. But one of these websites actually mentioned that instead of using water, use coffee instead, and it's really, really good. And so I'm going to kind of just go through it really quick with you in case you're a little bit timid about making it yourself to show you how easy it is. So let's get started. Okay, what I have here are the ingredients that we're going to use to make the syrup, coffee syrup. First off, I just have some coffee. You could use good coffee, bad coffee. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. But, I'm going to use the coffee that I normally drink with. Here, we have brown sugar. This is, cubed, but I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference, whatever you use. I think the brown sugar will give it a little bit more flavor. Once again, though, also for the coffee, I'm going to use a pour over. And you could probably just use, anything you want. Any way of making it, anyway. I don't think it's going to make a big difference. Also, what I'm going to need is a pinch of salt and a pinch of cinnamon. You do not have to use that, and you can use anything else you want. You could even put vanilla extract in there, any kind of flavoring you want, just really to give it a little bit of a hint of something different and unique. And then also some butter. Butter kind of gives it that richness, I think. Once again, you don't have to do that. You could just use the coffee and sugar, and that would suffice, but I'm going to use some of that. For the tools, I'm going to use a gas burner because that's what I have available to me. I'm also going to, heat up some water here for the coffee in a moment. And I'm actually going to make it just in a pot. You don't need anything special to make this. Okay, I got the stove lit. Get that placed right on top. Now it's going to take, a few minutes to let that heat up. Okay, while the coffee is heating, I'm going to go ahead and grab a handful of sugar. I'm going to do about 1 cup. I don't think it really makes a difference if it's an exact measurement. If you add a little bit too much water, you could just let it, cook off. If you add a little too little water, it'll just be ready faster. So, it's about 1 cup there. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, I'm going to get the sugar and I'm going to place it in the pot. And just kind of let that sit there. And then for the coffee, I'm just going to get, this is how I make it, just kind of get a nice tablespoon, put it in there. And once again, wait for the coffee to finish, or the water. As I'm waiting for the water to boil, I'm going to go ahead and maybe just put a dash of cinnamon in there, just a little bit. And I think I'm going to put a little dash of salt in there as well. Just eyeball, just a little bit, doesn't take much. The next ingredient I'm going to put in there is just some butter. You just need a dollop of that. How much you put in there is going to be up to you. I figure a tablespoon should be about right. Okay, I think I got the water hot enough now. Actually, I'm going to leave that burner on because I'm going to use it in a second. I'm going to get me a rag so I don't burn myself. And I'm just going to make my pour over coffee. I can actually make myself my own cup of coffee. There we go. Perfect. I'm just going to let these sit for about a minute so they can be nice and ready and strong. And then what I hope to do is I'm just going to go ahead and pour that in the pot and start stirring. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and put my pot of sugar and butter and cinnamon and salt. And I'm going to go ahead and pour in about almost a full cup, that cup of coffee. Once again, you can put in a full cup, a half a cup. I've seen many different people give different measurements for that. If you put more liquid in there, it's just going to take longer to evaporate. So basically, you just got to, you can stir this constantly, or you can kind of just keep coming back and forth. The consistency, what I'm looking for is when you look, when it splashes up against the side there. Last time I made this, I just kind of, you could see it kind of slowly come down off the sides. It's not like caramel, but once you take it off the heat, it will also thicken up a little bit. Yeah, this is very watery right now. It should come to a boil. It'll take a minute or two for that to happen. Once it's boiling, that's probably where it's a little bit more important to make sure that it's constantly stirred. Okay, after about 2 minutes, you can see that maybe it's a little hard to tell on this camera phone, but it's starting to come together a little bit. It's not as watery as it used to be. So we'll give it a couple more minutes and then give it another check. As it gets closer to the 5-minute mark, you should probably pay attention to it just a little bit more, and it'll really start to foam up. And when that starts to happen, you definitely want to turn down the heat and give it even more attention. Okay, another couple of minutes have gone by. And once again, you can kind of notice it's really starting to bubble up. And that's kind of giving us a clue to the viscosity of it. And you know, you kind of wash it up on the side and you see that it's kind of looking more syrupy-like, right? It's kind of hard to tell, but it's still pretty much a liquid. It's definitely starting to thicken up a little bit. Okay, maybe 6 minutes has come by now. You could really tell, even when I stir it, the bubbles don't come down very fast. So I'm going to reduce the heat. Maybe get the flame down to, really low here, just barely on, right? Bubbles should dissipate just a little bit. Now if I stir it, you'll notice the bubbles definitely kind of go away. And you can tell it's really kind of clinging to the side now, right? You can see it paints the side of the side here of the pan. So this is done. You can really smell it at this stage too. It's really kind of the whole place smells, the whole kitchen, right? And I turn the heat off completely. And I'm just going to let it sit here. And you can really see now it's really sticking to the side. It looks like syrup. It's really hot right now, so it's still going to kind of be like a liquid, but it will definitely kind of come together and thicken up as it cools. So let's give it a few minutes, let it do its thing, let it cool off. Okay, this is the tricky part. I don't have all the fancy cameras and all that, so I'm just going to kind of have to wedge the camera up so you can see this. But I got to transfer this into a clean jar that I'm reusing, right, recycling. And this is the difficult part because there's only one of me, and this pot is hot. Okay, there you have it. I've got some coffee syrup. It is really hot right now still, so I'm not gonna use it. What I plan on, or how I plan on using it, is I got me some Greek yogurt. I'm going to go ahead for dessert. I'm going to have some Greek yogurt with this coffee syrup on top. It is excellent with pancakes. That's how I originally had it. So yeah, it's going to be some good eats. Okay, so I got myself some Greek yogurt, some fresh bananas, drizzled with the coffee syrup, and a nice cup of coffee. That's my dessert. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed, and good luck. You can write in the comments if you have any more questions, and I'll answer them. Enjoy.